Hey everyone, this is Nigel with Mastering English Language, and as I always said, the goal of our program is actually to help you to master the English language by speaking. Now, why is it so essential that we teach you how to speak English? Because most of the programs out there are teaching you how to read and how to write English. The truth is, that's not how you learn English. English is a spoken language, and the more that you talk, the more that you practice, the more you can communicate it. And I wanted to quickly show you a few reasons why our program is designed in such a way to help you master speaking English. Number one, we will focus only on phrases. Learning English by phrase. Now let's look at the word. If we were to teach English word by word and we use the word to throw, T-H-R-O-W, throw. I throw a ball, I throw a marker, I throw a pen, I throw a rock, throw. But learning the word by itself doesn't give you any functionality of the word. In the English language, we have two types of words. We have content words, and then we have function words. So in order for the word to make sense, it has to be related to something. So you need to know the phrasal use of the verb, to throw. So if you're talking to throw away, are you throwing away something? Same word, different use. But if I were to say, I threw away the garbage, it's a specific statement about what I do. It's an act of throwing, but the same word I can use when I say, I throw away my opportunity to become the president of the organization. The same word, different use. So when you're learning English, learn a phrase. Learn the meaning of the word in the context of a phrase, in the context of a sentence, so that when it's fused with other words, it makes sense. A word by itself hanging rarely makes sense in the English language. If we were to look at the word throw, and I say throw down the gun, throw down the sheet, throw down the plate, throw down the cup. It's the same word throw, but when you hear how it's used, you get an association. I throw down my jacket. I threw down my handkerchief. It gives you some bit of an understanding as to what I'm doing, and that way it's a full sentence. I throw down my handkerchief. That you'll hear throw down becomes a phrase in that sentence, and that throw there is the verb. Throw out. Throw out. We heard so many times on the news about people throwing out precious jewels. We heard it springtime here in the US. It's one of the big cleaning seasons when people throw out their old junk from their house. We can throw out something from our backpack. We can throw out the trash. We can also throw out of place someone. She was an annoying customer and she was thrown out of place. But because we're using the word throw and we're looking at it as just a phrase, you're getting a better understanding already. So when we teach English in Mastering English, helping you to speak English fluently, we wanted to teach it in such a rapid way that you learn it contextually, and that accelerates your ability to speak English faster. Then we will use assimilation. We would use mini stories, we'll use interviews, we'll use dialogues, where you hear real people speaking. This is not an opportunity for someone to give you a textbook where you read a story. Because very many times, it's a one-sided story with someone telling you something. I grew up in an English-speaking country. I've spoken English all of my life. And I can be one of the many people who can tell you that English is not an easy language. I love it because I've always spoken it. But I learned that English is not an easy language because of how disjointed it is. A language like Spanish, if I wanted to tell you I am going out with my friend, I will use the right article. Or if I'm using the word amiga, you would know it's a female friend. If I said I'm going out with my amigo, it's a male friend. Because I know Spanish conversationally, I can use that as an example. It's not a case where I'm giving one language preference over another. But I'm saying that English, we use the word friend, and that's generic. It means man, it means woman. So those are some of the things that you needed to know when we are doing assimilations. So in our assimilations, we're going to use some small stories, and we will be able to tell them to you or show them to you through questioning. So you'll hear people having dialogues, and through the dialogues, you'd learn. You'd learn about places, you'd learn about situation, you'd learn about impacts, and different things that make English interesting. We're not going to give you a big thick textbook where you have to read all of these rules and all of these boring stuff, making it more difficult and confusing for you. And why I say that is because it takes us to the next reason. To master English, you need to master listening. It's not a reading language where you look and learn. It's you listen and learn. You listen for the word, you listen for how it's used, you listen for who it's used with. Those are the things that make English language better for you. It helps you to master the art of speaking it fluently. And it also does that by you following TV, following audio, and even following the mainstream news, because you get to hear the use of phrases and keywords, and you get to hear how one item is connected to the other. It would also help you to master some of the slangs and expressions that exist in English language. So in that way, you would automatically, step number 4, automatically learn grammar. Grammar is not something that you have to sit down and spend 5 hours reading all of the rules. You learn the rules and you learn grammar so whilst you're practicing the language, so that it doesn't confuse you. If every time you open your mouth to speak, you have to remember what tense to speak in, and what subject and verb has to agree, and what is the lexicon for one word against another, you would always be confused. And for you, it would be a drudgery learning English language. That's why we never recommend that you learn these long lists of words from textbook. We would give you a list of words and say, sound the word, so that you can master a particular concept. Concept teaching has always been a big part of my training, and it's been always a big part of my work. In 1996, when I graduated from Cyril Potter College of Education as a secondary school teacher, one of the best lessons I learned is teach concepts and add to the concept content. I've always used that method of teaching. I've taught in Guyana, I've taught in the United States, and I've used that method everywhere. Today I'm running the studio here at Academic Edge, where we teach kids math, reading, and writing. And we use the very same concept method and help kids prepare for the GRE, the SAT, the ACT, the GED, and several of the other exams. And why is it effective? Because the system of concept teaching teaches you the core of what you need to know. We don't confuse students with long lists of work. And you ought not to be confused with that too. So that takes us down to the last part. Practice speaking. Our program will guarantee that you practice speaking because we will be there with you to speak. We will be there in the membership area for you to be able to communicate. We don't make it available to everybody. We work only in small groups so that everybody can get a chance to speak. Our goal is just to help you do it a little better. Alright? Go right on this sheet, sign up, And I wanted you to benefit from this program. It's free, so sign up today. This is Nigel.